Hello my beautiful darlings and welcome back to Satisfactory. I'll see myself out. Alright. Well, I did some things and I guess we'll start off by showing you what I got myself into. And you be the judge if it's a good thing or bad thing, because I have no clue anymore. None. But first and foremost, am I flying? If not, we are gonna be flying. So, right. Let's start off with this structure. It still needs its top hat, but I did finish all the way around, and I gotta say it's starting to look snazzy, and I didn't make it cookie cutter on all sides because so now is the question, should we keep the triangles in the roofline open, or let's find a section I actually did close off. Away from the noisiness in the background. Thank you, thank you. I'll close it off like so. That's the question, but I do think if we close it off, we can use a glass ceiling on this with some funny accents as well besides the glass. So I kind of feel like that might be the move. So for now, let's plop in some triangles, and I'll do my very best to try and not be too annoying. Is it gonna work? I'm not sure. Boop. I wish I had the skill of Kibit's booping. Get out of there. You too. You weren't invited. Right. Boop. Once we're done with this side, we can take a look-see a bit further back. See how we feel about this. Yeah, I think that's the move. I think we're gonna go with that. And honestly, this whole area is starting to look snazzy. Snazzy! Okay. And after we are done having fun with triangles, we shall have some hopefully fun times with some pipes and some wall pieces, because we got a whole lot of piping to do and wall finishing as well. So we can finish up our 900 crude oil power station up. And like I said, we are gonna need all the power we can get. Yeah. Oh boy. And honestly, this whole flying thing, I know it requires mods. I am aware. That is not everybody's cup of coffee. Speaking of. But it makes building big structures like we're doing more easy. Or like me and my friend Di used to joke about, because sometimes I would get the wording wrong and she would tease me. So, more better. More better. And in case you guys missed it, English is not even my third language, it's my fourth. So, considering that, I think I'm doing a-okay. Mostly. And if anybody has any complaints, you can take it up with my bestie. Mainly because he's just gonna laugh at you. Just like this roof piece is doing to me. It's being a sack of something bad. Why are you being such a meanie? Why? Why? Fine. If you're not gonna behave, I'm gonna make you behave. You're going in the corner. Well, since it's not gonna behave the way I was expecting, or hoping, I should say. Expecting is, well, expecting too much, right? And that is not turning the right way, like normal. And my OCD will not allow it. Just like I hate when my normal food shopping spots decide to shape things up and put things into places where they're normally not located, which means I can't go power shopping and finding things as quickly as possible so I can get the beep out of there as quickly as possible. And let's just say, some days that is not a good thing. Some days it just makes me want to crawl up into a ball and stay there because they change too many things too quickly. And unfortunately, that means when other things in life get a tiny bit decompolated, like my schedule has been for the last couple of months, it unfortunately uses up any resemblance of energy that I may or may not have, and forces me to use it on what I consider just surviving. And honestly, no fun. Not fair and no fun. And sometimes my beautiful family seem to forget that bit. Which I, at some level, do get, but also, on the other side, I find a tiny bit infuriating because I have to explain it over and over again Yeah. But see, we got a roof. We got a roof. And then we got some sneaky little corners here we gotta figure out. How are we gonna do this? Honestly, I have no clue. But sometimes it helps just to stick your head in and see what we can do. Let's go with the orange, honestly. And once again, it's being a dick. Yeah, I know, I said a bad word. So let's jerry rig it. There we go. I did attempt to try and film this yesterday and the day before that. But like I said, my energy has been this big. And that's not your guys' fault. And I kind of feel like I've been letting you guys down, my friends down, and it's killing me on the inside. It really is. It makes me very, very sad and feeling like I disappointed all of the people I care about. And I am aware that it's a me problem. And it's something I have to work on. But then on the other side, I'm just glad that I actually am aware that I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. And being able to say it out loud without feeling terrible or needy. So in that regard, progress, I guess. Oh! I gotta say, this looks kind of sick. In a good way. And I'm not trying to emotionally dump shite on you guys. I just figured it's better being upfront, honest, so you guys don't think your guys are doing something wrong when you're totally not. That's all. And now that whole spiel is over and done with. Let's get some big concrete feet on this baby. I kind of feel like we need to bring it out a bit as well, making it a bit more secure and a bit more thick. And hopefully I did say that right. So even though our main facility is off the ground, because I want to make sure that we can move around underneath if need be. If we want trucks to go around, they can without any issues. If we want to put in, let's say, hypertubes or anything else that might be fun, we still have plenty of space to do so, whether it be on the ground or off the ground. Plus, even though I'm pretty sure Fixit Corporation do not care about our beautiful environment here, but I do. And if that means I have to build up and above the ground, so I don't have to remove any foliage more than necessary, I shall do so. Plus, it's an alien environment, right? So why not make insane alien looking structures? So with that in mind, that's why I saw this in my head. And it makes sense, kinda, mostly. Right? And it's not all same. And everything is supported as well. So all in all, I think my insane vision in my head is starting to take root. The next area that might need a glow up after we finish with the power is the train station, to be honest. It could need a tiny bit of TLC, and we need to set up a site for the nitrogen gas, because we need to make fused modular frames. Those funny little cubies with the orange bit. Hence why I'm allowing this to stay orange, because the cube where we're gonna make the cubes are gonna be orange. So we're sticking with the color theme here. Plus, since it's an aluminium side as well, and we got other bits and bobs too, hence the concrete, hence the metal, and the glass for some nice lighting. We all need that, right? Yeah. Alright, enough jibber-jabbing. Enough. So I did some work, and I kind of did turn on the fuel Jennies. And I'm gonna tell you guys why, because that unfortunately was the only way to make sure that I could double check all of my pipes, and I do mean all of them. Once we get down there, you'll see why I say it this way. And also I was trying to figure out the rest of the layout, and yeah, it's starting to look like something, but I also kind of feel like we might have to drag a pipeline this way over and fill in this area here off the ground, of course, because we want to keep the flora and fauna as much as possible. Plus we got some nice notes down here that I do not want to cover up either. See, copper, iron. It's a good area, for sure. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased towards this area, but I am. It's a great spot. And I do think once they do update 8, that I do want to start out here with our starter facility. I think that would be nice. And don't worry about the red lights that you can spot down here. It'll make sense in just a wee bit. But first and foremost, let's just get in here. Turn off the flying thing for now. And another sip of coffee. Honestly, I need it. Alright. And hopefully my earlier spill didn't bring you guys down, because that is not my intent. Quite the opposite. I did a bit more work down here too, so that's why we are starting off down here before we take a look see at the jennies and what else I did. Like I said yesterday, I did try to prepare for recording, but I did have some things that I needed to work out visually by putting down things. Make sense? I hope so. Honestly, I think it looks so cool with all of the extra bins down here. I know it's a bit overkill. I am totally aware. But honestly, it looks great though. And everything is taking along. Oh yeah, now we're getting to the bit where you guys can actually see where I redid some work that we already did in last video, I think. So I had to go through my entire facility and redo my pipes, because sometimes in Satisfactory there can be a hiccup with the way that the piping system works, which unfortunately means you kind of have to take out your pipes and put them back in again. And since I had to redo a lot of my piping, I figured, why not go a tiny bit overboard, since I was already forced to redo the pipes. So I kind of did go overboard a tiny bit, but I think it looks great though. It still needs a recoloring, but that's for me later when I don't know what else to do. That's a good thing to keep myself busy. And these yellow ones were the only ones I didn't have to redo, so I didn't. But I probably will later, because that is gonna irritate my brain so bad. That is not a Mark II pipe. In the grand scheme of things for this facility to function, does it matter? In this case, no. Normally, I would say be very aware of the pipes that you're utilizing, because one set of pipes can transport a certain amount of fluid, right? So the Mark I is 300 meters squared of fluid per minute. Whereas this one is 600, so double. Just like with the belting here, it does matter which type of belt you utilize. Did I need to use a Mark V belt here? No. Did I want to? Yes. So sometimes a tiny bit of overkill can be a style choice and not just for functionality as well. Make sense? I hope so, because if we just disregard the yellow pipes, who am I kidding? We're gonna fix them right now, because it's pissing me off, okay? And then we shall fix the top side too, but right now, let's just do that, right? Now it looks a bit more cohesive. And I did add in a couple of Mark 1 pumps. And that were for a bit more practical reasons, but also because they're kind of cool too. I did try the Mark 2 pumps as well, but for this specific purpose, the Mark 2 were not needed. Because off screen, I did a 4 hours stress testing of my system and kept an eye on all of my pipes to figure out, okay, where do I need a pump? Do I even need a pump? And sometimes you have to do that. Most of the time I do take it into consideration when constructing something this scale. But this time, since I wasn't sure on how I wanted it to look, how many functions I wanted to add into this facility from the get-go, I kind of threw the builder's guide over the shoulder and went with the duct tape. Oh, what else? Oh, commando strips. Those two. Would I recommend doing that approach? Depends. Well, enough of the underground floor here, because we're going down further. But for now, let's go up. So, like I said, I had to repipe a lot of piping. And it irritated me so much. I had to take out all of the floor here, all of it, all the way down. It wasn't pretty, hence why there is no roof yet. Well, one of the reasons. But look at that. Look at that. That is a beautiful sign. And here, thankfully, no pumps needed. Not here. But then I started to turn on some of the jennies to see where we may or may not need a pump. So that sent me down a building rabbit hole. And before I knew it, it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and I hadn't recorded one thing. And at that time, I was like, well, you need to save and you need to restart your system, because otherwise NVIDIA is not going to record anything. Do you really want to do that right now? And the answer was no. I want to hug my pillow. So I do apologize that you guys didn't get to turn on the first jennies with me. Like I said, I was stress testing everything. But can't argue with the results though. Right? And here was some pumps that actually were needed, but only in select few places. So I wouldn't call this too bad or a waste of power resources, which normally you would have to consider. Especially in a game like this where you got resources, you gotta extract them, and you gotta generate power to extract the resources. And the more complicated things get, like there, on our objective list and the milestone thing. To make those parts, we're gonna need more power, so Does the pumps eat a lot of power? No, not per se, but if you have to use 20 in one spot, all of a sudden you're using more power than you figured you would. Right? But look at all of these beautiful pipes. Once again, did I go overboard? Yes. Does it look great? I think so. But I think down here, where we can see in, I do want to add in some lighting, just in case update 8 is not going to screw us all over. So the question is, ceiling lights or wall mounted or spotlights? That's the big question, isn't it? But look how good it looks against our compact coal distribution facility, so to speak, because it's getting made all the way over there. Let's see if we can zoom all the way in there. There's a coal, and it gets transported all the way, beep, 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 and down, and in, and around, and up, and out, and down. And we still got access to the nodes we haven't yet tapped as well, which is great. Absolutely great. Now, let's be a flying squirrel and do not do this at home without a safety net and a jetpack. But I think adding light all along here would look kind of sick. So let's see what we have. That's under organization. Yeah. Let's see. If we add one there, is that gonna clip through or be good? No, I think we're good. Now the question is, can we... Yes, we can. I kind of feel like we want to do that. Let's take that away for now. Grab the next one. And skip, hop. And let's see. Yeah. I think that might be the move. And of course we will add in those light control boxes. And honestly, sometimes I wish we could turn them up and down after placing them. I know that would require a lot of more animated programming. That probably would slow down everything else. So, but how sick would it be if one could, right? Do this. After you build them. Let's see, there-ish. No. Better. Those two are a tiny bit too close to one another, but what can one do? Well, we could scooch this one, but is it worth it though? I don't think so. Yeah, I think that will have to do. Let's see if we can't find a inconspicuously spot for this. Let's just put it down for now. Does it matter which side is the front and which is the back? No. Okay. Good. So what if we put it there? Now I bring over that. Don't get seasick now. Oh, it's gonna be a cable nightmare, but how distracting is that? That is not too distracting. Okay. So let's hop onto the other lighty. Make a nice little oh yeah, speaking of hoping, I would love if they added in the daisy chain options for the power, just the power coupling thing, and for the lights. Just being able to daisy chain everything to help with cable management would be so good. But on the other hand, if they don't, that just means I have to keep on having a couple of mods on my Satisfactory game, because the daisy chain function, beauteous. Now let's get down here and let's take a look, see how we feel. Yeah, I think that's gonna look good. Especially with the lighting system they are gonna facilitate on update dates. I think that is gonna be a sleigh. Okay, who is hissing at me? Oh, there you are, buddy.
You are so lucky that you found this most
Sure, Ada. Absolutely. So very lucky indeed. Bullshit. But it's fine. I promise you it's fine. Right. Now, since we are going down anyways, let's just steal some power, shall we? Well, it's not stealing power per se, but I do want to make sure that this gets to connect it to the rest of the Jennies, but I also want it to look somewhat decent, so let's just keep bringing it down, right? And then bring it over. sometimes gauging perspective can be a tiny bit difficult, especially when you're trying to keep it somewhat neat and tidy, right? So yeah, I did a lot of piping already. A lot. And a lot of Jenny building and trying to make it somewhat neat, and also again keeping in mind with the flow of our fuel. And keeping in mind as well, it needs to be walkable because not everybody is a flying squirrel. Ada, no. And since not everybody is a flying squirrel, and not everybody has a tendency to jump up on things like me and the beanies, and if I were to show around, say, RP or Mikey, since they have a tendency to be more underground kind of people and not crawling on everything they can. So I did try to keep that in mind and make it walkable. And I did have a bit of an experiment here with that little curvy curve here. I think it looks good. But I also know that we are going to need some nice bit of lighting in here. Let's just say it's going to get dark in the nighttime and look a tiny bit dull if we were not to do that. So and all of these also needs a recoloring, so there's gonna be a lot of recoloring to be done as well. So much saliva in my mouth today, and I know why, because I did take my allergy medicine. I don't know why. It makes your throat dry, but also at the same time makes your glands make more saliva at the same time, which is weird and scratchy, very scratchy. Oh. There you go. It's alive! Almost. But we're getting there. But yeah, a lot of piping. And also I did try to keep it off and out of the way, but also keeping in mind making it walkable almost everywhere. which for me is not a given because I fly. So I'm not an angel, but I am a flying squirrel. So walking is not allowed. But look at all of these babies. And since we got airflow coming in and out, we are not gonna suffocate. That's always a good thing, right? And you do not need to be there. So I figured my little raised walkway here, gonna add some either a railing or catwalk. So let's take a look see at that very quickly before we continue with the power, and also adding is that one better? I don't know, one might be better. And yes, it double placed. Of course it did. So let's try a couple of different things here. And you know what? I think we're gonna add the catwalks with the railings all the way around instead of just the railings. Don't get me wrong, the railings are great. I like the way they look. But I feel like with the catwalks, together with this nice shiny floor, I think that might be the move. We can always change it. So the only issue is turning the railing the right way. And using the right pieces for the corners, but that's the easy bit. Since I did want everything to feel open and airy, I still needed it to be functional. As well. Not to mention, I'm trying to make this look like a trillion coupons for the fix-it shop. And not to mention, in case somebody else like me is silly enough to do this. And the rating on the outside, yeah. This is the way. This is the way. Ada, no.
This is control figure. I have taken your help to find a cure. Doctors say that the only remedy is alien artifacts.
Trying to use our family familiarities against us. How's that fair? It's bad enough they do it. Our families, that is. Alright. Give me that. And we're gonna need the corner. Yep. And to there. And one of these. Just one, thank you. Yeah, looks good, looks good. Alright. And the best thing is, you can always recolor stuff to make it fit everything else that you got going on, which I think is awesome sauce. Yeah, baby. I think it's starting to look decent and presentable. Somewhat. And we need to add a tiny bit more railings to this section, but honestly, I think it's starting to look pretty good. And in case you missed it last week, yeah, looking at you, and you haven't already, and you're a Fallout 4 player and builder, I should say, please go check out the Lost Ranger. There's a build challenge involving a suit theme and of course criterias. So dust off your Fallout 4 and get busy. I will dust off mine, make sure everything is hunky-dory, and there may or may not be a surprising zoo in it for you guys. Even though I kind of feel like we already have achieved that. Mystery alien intelligence, a beautiful coral spitter, bees in the same area. So there's my zoo. What? Are you telling me it doesn't count? Screw you. But seriously, please go check them out. RP games as well. Well, girl. JPEG of death. Thank you, autosave. That's very kind of you. But yeah, there are many fantastic Fallout 4 enthusiasts like myself as well. And a friendly reminder to those wonderful peoples, I still still a follower for, and why are you not including me in build challenges? Sometimes I kind of feel like they forget to tell me, even though I do my best to keep an eye on everybody else's things that they got going on. Lurking. And since I got you guys here, should we do this with a glass frame sort of dealio? I'm not sure about that either. It could be kind of cool. Right? Like that. Except for up here, of course, because we gotta get through. But I was thinking look-wise, it might look good. Because here we got an entire beautiful white all the way around to keep an eye on all of the machinies. And if we do that, then the upper glassway here can also have a glass railing sort of dealio. But yeah. And that whole section here opens up to the outside.
Exit personnel in the area. Proceed with harvest before it's too late.
Ada, are you telling me you did you hire the bees and the spitters and the beanies?
Harvest.
I think she did. I'm not cooperating with bees unless they bring me honey. But yeah, here we are gonna need railings.
Relaying message. Hello, this is Paternal Figure. I have taken ill and need your help to find a cure. Doctors say that the only remedy is alien artifacts.
I'm pretty sure doctors doesn't say that, Ada. I think you're saying that because you want me to pick up the alien artifacts and bring it to you. And I will keep on saying nope. Oh, and give me Flex P. That's another one you should go say hi to. That's a friend as well. From Australia. Chill dude. Well, since we're here, let's do a squat jump to go downstairs so we can finish with piping. Because there's still a lot of piping to be done. Give me that. Thank you. kind of feel like this is the best way to do this piping, if you can, of course. Not only does it help lining up the cross section here to feed the machines, but also it's kind of fun. If Ada would just stop telling me to comply, and I keep telling her she's not the Borg and she's not my mom, so I will not comply. But come on, don't tell me this doesn't look cool. And just imagine putting on a triangle roof on here. And maybe, just for funsies, adding in more pipes to go up and down as well, even more than we already have. I kind of feel like that would look cool, but then again, what do I know? I'm just gonna be happy with figuring out what I'm gonna do for dinner. I already know what I'm gonna do for dinner. And since I can't go to Greece, I'm gonna bring Greece into my kitchen. I'm gonna make homemade Slovaki to put in a nice pita bread with tzatziki, pickled onions, cucumber, tomato, and that's gonna be dinner. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Well, I'm not gonna pick up anything until we get story mode data. It's just gonna take off up room in my bins, and I don't want to. So here, let me just show you. I did decide to add in a pool for more water extractors if need be. I'd rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them. Alright? And here, I kind of want to keep that open. So I think here I'm gonna play around with some pillars to make it look a bit more enclosed without being closed off, so to speak. And I wanted a bit of more unusual angles, so that's how I ended up with this. Which was a bit of a challenge to get the fuel to go down here. But I think we did manage. We did manage. Me and the beanies. Would you guys please tell me if you like doing fuel setups in your games too? Or if I am the weirdo who thinks this is fun. And I'll make sure that we can extend that pipe if we need to. Or down there. Or from any of the pipes that is in our system. if we feel like adding more fuel jennies later on. But for now, I think this will do. Now let's check these up here, because I'm not sure if I did connect these or not. No. They're ready to, but they're not connected yet. So give me that. Thank you, game. Here I'm not gonna rely on auto. And still, I did try to make sure you can get around here without having to climb the pipes as well. But honestly, I think climbing the pipes is more fun. Plus, it makes it easier to feed the machines as well. Look, we got a nice centipede. And we still got the steppy look to it as well. And if we want to, we can add a glass slope thingy to this section as well. But I kind of feel like not to. So let's go over there so you guys can see the scope. And next time we will be back here. This entire thing would be powered up. No. This entire thing will be powered up. Because we are out of time for today. And hopefully you guys don't think I talk too much. And I very much appreciate you all. Now, you know what? Let's use the steppy steps. They're there, so why not use them? Let's get this out of our hands. But yeah, this is the back side. And once I get the windows in downstairs for my internal walkway and add the rest of the railings around here, I think it's gonna look fire. And I'm gonna keep the roof up for now because, again, I want to do that with you guys. But today there was a lot of piping and a lot of talk about the fuel. Speaking of fuel, one slight detour and that's it. Yeah. Just because I was talking about fuel. What do we do with type fuel? Great job, me. Alright. But yeah, that's how the backside is looking. And everything that is orange here, that is gonna be painted super duper fuel red. But that is how it's looking. More interesting. Is it big? Yes. Does it look good? I think so. Alright. One detour. And for that we need to Space Needle. Instead of a guiding star, we got a guiding Space Needle. It works. Right. like I was saying, speaking of fuel, when I was setting up my compact coal area, first of all, I wanted it to look like a futuristic castle with an inner courtyard that they had added machines to. Could I have kept it simple and just make a normal coal burning setup? Yes. Did I? No. So instead, I once again had to play around with levels. So here's another stepping system. Could I overclock all of my machines and still have enough compacted coal to go around? Yes. Do I kind of want to? Kinda. But this is another fuel system where I went a bit more untraditional. Playing around with the pipes, with how to get water in, how am I gonna get the compacted coal? And to answer that, that is down here, underneath our feet. And that gave me some more natural feelings levels as well. And the back side, so that is where I continued doing my bridges for my materials. And I'm still obsessed. I still love it. And it still looks wonderful. I spent a couple of hours here yesterday too. Okay, who am I kidding? I spent 3 hours here. Because I did some tinkering and did some over-ticking, did some upgrading of some miners, and then I had to upgrade the belts and yes, and this is another one of my favorite areas in the entire game. It's right here as well, because it's beautiful. We got water, we got things to climb on, green stuff, things that are gonna kill you. It's great. And experiment that I decided to keep. And the rest of the area you guys know very well. Crystal, Christmas, and home. Well, we got the steel area down here. Again, a bit more non-traditional. Same with the Pytherium side. And that is my squirrel way to get quickly in and out without having to take the steppy steps. But it all still kind of fits together. By train. And there's train tunnels, pathways. besides my main game to differentiate a bit, this is one of my favorite ones yet. Gotta say. And hopefully you guys like it too. But that's all for me, folks. I see you in the next one. Please take care. Hug somebody. Pet your doggos. Cats, goldfish, plushies. So the plushie can be a happy little blusher. See? Happy. That's all, folks. Bye now. Why do I keep hitting the wrong keys? Oh, speaking of hitting keys, hopefully my keyboard didn't sound too loud because it's mechanical.